So Team 17 was nice enough to let us peek behind the scenes at Elsenborn Ridge in a special playtest. So while all the footage you're going to see in this video is just the map itself, cruising around in admin cam, I actually have played a couple matches on it. And if you're looking for the most basic terms of how to describe this map, it is like a combination of Hurricane Forest and Foy in the best way. It is actually a lot of fun. But there's two things that really stood out to me. One of those being every single strong point felt different, which is something that I feel like a lot of maps in Hell Let Loose are missing. Each point on Elsenborn feels like a separate story. It feels like their own little team deathmatch map is part of this bigger thing, but it works. And I feel like this will create a lot of replayability on this map. Hardly any of this map really felt empty. And you'll see from the footage in the background here, each point tells a story. You'll have supply cache where it's a bunch of wooden crates. There's a point on the right side of the map that is all burned down forest with flames on some trees. The left side of the map is a ridge on an elevated position. And there are plenty of points with foxholes and trenches and all sorts of unique cover for each point. The other major thing I noticed about this map is the dynamic snow. This is going to be really fun to play in, especially if you're playing in tanks. It will slowly transition from a light snowfall to a heavier blizzard where some fog and haze comes in. And to quote the folks over at Expression Games, they state, it was decided early on that we needed a dynamic snow blizzard scenario for Elsenborn Ridge. So the technical art team started prototyping some ideas to support this. The new tech allows us to blend between different intensities of weather, allowing us to go from gentle snowfall to a heavy blizzard. So I am really excited to see how that plays out. But next up, here's the historical overview for this map provided by Expression Games. There are some regions and words in here I'm probably going to butcher, so just forgive me already. But they state the Battle of Elsenborn Ridge is a less documented but important battle nonetheless set in Bollingen region in the Ardennes, 43 miles away from Foy. The Elsenborn Ridge is but one of many examples of how far the Battle of the Bulge was spread out in 1944. Set during the winter months of 1944, the 99th U.S. Division, who had been stationed at Wurzfeld, were under heavy suppression from the 6th Panzer Army, composed of the 12th SS Panzer Division, 12th Volksgrenadier, and the 277th Volksgrenadier to the east, who had finally broken their lines and forced a retreat to the Elsenborn Ridge. The U.S. were forced to abandon their supplies en route to the ridge and settle in for weeks of bombardment from Wurzfeld. Having retreated to the ridge and established a network where they had become heavily dug in with makeshift trenches, foxholes, camps, and artillery gun positions. Taking place between the 16th to 26th of December 1944, winter had fully taken a hold in Belgium. The thick snow had settled, the roads were slippery and slushy. Combined with the constant fog and blizzards, it made it impossible for the U.S. bombers and the Luftwaffe alike to battle from the skies without succumbing to the elements. And I have to say, the story that they're telling in their statement here really comes through in the map. They had a clear vision, and I think they did really well at knocking out of the park here. In the same debrief, they go on to talk about why they picked Elsenborn Ridge, and they state, as with any Hell Let Loose map, we had considered which maps were already available to players. This allowed us to decide on which kind of thematic map that we wanted to create next. We had decided as a team that the map could be a map that is different to Foy in aesthetics, but fits within the existing biome. A map that has much more interesting topography to avoid repetition of dull, flat terrain that exists in other territories. It's also a challenge to create a map that is based on controlling land rather than buildings. It's also an opportunity to design a map without the safety net of large structures and historical landmarks in mind, while retaining visual interest. And lastly, a map that works for all playstyles, but will be more suitable for vehicles and armor, which you know I personally love. I think this is definitely going to be a tank map. They go on to say, because the Elsenborn Ridge itself is a forested region where the US dug in with defensive positions rather than a historical landmark, this gave us a lot of space to choose from when designing the initial concept. We chose the absolute edge of Wurzfeld over Rockwraith Kienkelt. I'm so sorry for saying that the way I just did, because it has a much better road network for vehicles and to minimize the need to create another village. So my takeaway from this is that they wanted to create a map that was a battle for territory, not so much a battle for landmarks. And again, I think they really succeeded here. And when I played on this map, I got to do 2 rounds, got to play as both the Germans and the US. Both times I played armor in the starting medium vehicles, and it played great. I didn't get stuck on a single thing. It was interesting to actually drive around with all the different elevation changes. It felt like there was enough cover for infantry to get around us if needed, and it felt very well balanced. Again, this is just a small playtest this came from and early reactions here. I have no idea how this map will actually play once it hits, but I had a lot of fun when I got a chance to try it. And speaking of tanks, the one big thing about this map is that we are finally getting winter camo on tanks. This could be a game changer, especially when the blizzard comes in. It gets a little hazier. I feel like you're going to see a lot of tanks hiding in some bushes and brush now. So if you are watching this on the day this video comes out, which is October 17th, 2024, there will be a PTE going live this weekend for this map, so you can try it out yourself. I have no idea how it works on console, but if you're on Steam, it's that separate client where it says public testing. Jump in there, try the map out, let Team 17 know what you think about it. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on this map. Are you excited about it? What are your concerns? What are you liking? Tell me down in the comments. But thank you for watching. Thank you for everything you do. I'll see you dudes on the front line.